Hi students, Suzanne Sweezy here from the Test Anxiety Tactics Workbook and course. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I go over in my course, and that is internal versus external pressures. So let's go over a little bit more about those external pressures. I know a lot of you are experiencing external pressure from your parents, right? Maybe they're not saying anything explicitly like, if you don't pass this test, you're out of the house, and like that would be a lot of pressure. But maybe they're just more like talking about colleges that their friends' kids got into, or so and so got into Stanford last week. So as a parent, I can tell you, it's good to put a little bit of pressure on our kids, have expectations, expect that they're going to try, they're going to study, but if they don't get those perfect grades, you're going to be okay. You're going to have a good life. If you're somebody that's trying your best, that is working hard and putting in the effort, putting in those hours studying for tests, but you're not performing well in the test, it may be because those external pressures of your parents are creating anxiety, creating test anxiety specifically. Okay, other pressures might just be your teachers that you feel like have all these expectations of you for certain tests or their final exam or an AP exam. And then other external pressures are often our friends, right, and peers. So maybe you have some friends that seem like they're on the path to Princeton, or they already got into the medical school of their first choice. That creates a lot of pressure because you might feel like, oh, if I don't also get into that school, they're not going to be friends with me, or they're going to think I'm dumb or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's hard to get into these top schools. We all have different lives. We all have different families and different expectations and different career goals. And what's good for one person, it's great to be supportive and proud of your friend, but maybe you're in a different situation. Maybe you could get that top SAT or ACT score, but the test anxiety from the pressure that you're putting on yourselves when you're comparing yourselves to others is really impacting how you're going to do on that test. So you have to think about those pressures and use some strategies, mostly cognitive strategies, in order to take that pressure off. And then the other form of pressure is going to be internal pressure. So maybe you're somebody that people say, oh, you're such a perfectionist. Or you're somebody that, maybe you were getting straight A's back in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade when like middle school was kind of easy. And now, high school classes, AP classes, college courses, they're more rigorous. They require more time studying, more effort, and that's creating this pressure that's causing your test anxiety. You feel like you studied enough, you go to the exam, and your brain's just like a fog, and you can't even access the English language because you're so nervous and anxious. So that is what test anxiety is. And if you're putting internal pressure on yourself to be perfect, to always get a straight A, to get that top SAT or ACT score, too much pressure is also a bad thing. So stress in general is good. It's good to have like a solid level of putting the effort in, putting in the time, having a little bit of stress. But when it gets to be too much, because we're putting too much pressure on ourselves and having these expectations of perfection, it's going to be self-defeating, and it's going to cause us to get test anxiety, which is going to lower your test scores. And that's not what you want. I know you want to get good grades. So in the Test Anxiety Tactics course, I talk about pressure, and then I also go into ways of thinking and strategies for overcoming test anxiety and overcoming those cognitive challenges of feeling pressure. Okay, so again, my name is Suzanne Sweezy, licensed educational psychologist and writer of the Test Anxiety Tactics Workbook and creator of the course. Okay, take care.
This video is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health or medical advice. Use of this video does not establish a therapeutic relationship. Please seek support from a licensed provider if you are experiencing significant emotional or psychological distress.